the November 2017 meeting of the Maumelle Civil Service Commission to order. Do we have any public comments? First, we'd have to have some public, so I guess that's no public comments. Our first order of business is approval of the September 11 Commission regular meeting minutes. So we have to do that because the October meeting was canceled due to a lack of agenda items.
Move we accept.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Chief Ezell needs to speak with us about requesting 3 temporary promotions until the battalion chief can return in 2018.
This is Battalion Chief Eaton again. He's back stateside, but as far as I know, he is not home yet. They're hoping he'll be home to his family right before Thanksgiving. The whole month of December, he will be off on leave, will not come back till the first of the year. And what I'd like to do with your permission is to keep those interims in place and through the first pay period of 2018 to kind of let him ride along with Michael Cossey, who's been the interim battalion chief, just try to get him acclimated to fire department life again and get away from the military. So, but that will entail those 3 interims that were in place continuing through the
Another
first pay
month,
period.
basically.
Same people?
Yeah.
Because I think our original, Michael Cossey, Joshua Malden, and
Aileen Williams.
Aileen Wamsey. I think our original motion that we
It's through the month of November.
through the month of November. So basically, all we need to
End of
do.
November, which
Yeah.
Right.
will
Right.
run out.
So it sounds like basically all we need to do is extend that. Mr. City Attorney, can we do that motion with all 3, or will we have?
I think that's fine.
So, okay. So we need a motion to extend the temporary appointments. What'd you say, through the first pay period?
First pay period, I believe it's the 19th of January.
Let's just make it, just say the first pay period.
Just go to the end of January in case there's
We can do that,
I mean,
just in case there's a glitch. The end of January. But then we've got a guy back that's, yeah. So we're gonna have to end their temporary appointments.
The 19th will be the final day of that pay period, so that's what we were looking at.
Just make it January 19th. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to extend the 3 temporary positions until January 19th, 2018.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'm not exactly 100% sure what our new HR director is going to give us tonight, but I'm going to turn it over to him. He wants to discuss facilitating public safety promotional exams and oral interviews. And also he has some sort of statistical report.
Yes, so thank you. Basically just the October 14th testing date, the most recent testing date for police and fire exams, entry-level exams. I just was going to give you a statistical report on those numbers. Our fire department had 72 applications for entry-level testing. We had 53 tests, 28 passed, and were invited to the physical fitness test following the following week. We had 25 attending that physical fitness test and 23 passing. I believe the fire chief has an expectation of about 3 positions for the 2018 budget year, potentially, give or take, but those will potentially come off of this most recent testing. Our police had 44 applications, 18 tested with 9 passing. I haven't heard a current openings number for potential 2018. But that's just basically just the rundown of our most recent testing date, October 14th, for fire and police entry level. And the question that I posed to you was just to discuss what preparations we need to make for the oral interviews and promotional exams for the first part of the year so that we can get those, get those processes in order. It looks like you've already got an agenda item to that effect as well.
Right, and since there's only one person in the room that's ever, from the HR perspective, been through that, would be Mayor Watson. Mr. Mayor, do you have any insights for HR?
Well, the date's already set, but we revised one of those from when we originally set it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the date is somewhat, I'll find that in a minute, but the
March.
written exam for police and sergeant, as we had it, was January 30th. And then written exam for fire lieutenant and fire captain was the 31st, and battalion chief was February 1st. And then oral interviews were set for February the 12th for fire lieutenant, fire captain, and fire battalion chief. And oral interviews for February 26th were set for police sergeant and police lieutenant. So one of those switched, I'm not sure what that was off the top of my head.
Battalion
Battalion
chief.
chief.
Battalion chief moved to the 26th?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So basically, as y'all are aware, we give a test for the applicants in-house, internally. I mean, we generate the tests and all that, but then based on they have to score 70%, then they move forward to the oral interviews to this commission here. And then they go forward with, y'all go forward with that, and then if they pass that, then we go to the assessment. Is that what we do? We do the assessment before the oral.
We do the tactical and the personnel on our side anyway before they come in.
Okay, all right.
But they don't progress at all if they don't pass the written.
They gotta pass the written.
Right.
assessment.
Well, they can go to the assessment.
As far as the oral interview questions, the first, not the first, our only meeting in January is when we go into executive session to formulate those. The only good thing about sitting in this middle chair is I don't have to come up with questions every year, because that's one of the hardest, I mean, good questions year after year with this many positions it's hard. It really is. But each of the commissioners will submit to the commission 2 questions each for each position. It will wind up, and sometimes we like them just fine, sometimes we'll change them up a little bit, sometimes they may be, somebody may feel like they're a little too close to somebody else's question, so, we'll adjust it that way. Once we have our 8 questions per position, I will bring those to you, and there is a form
Yeah, I can show him all that.
that you will put those questions together for the right people, for the right positions, and provide us with those headed into our oral interviews. And our orals, we always do one set of them in our regular February meeting, and then have a meeting 2 weeks later to do the second group. And that can get lengthy. We've been up here pretty late at night at times on those.
And the HR director typically stays here to bring the candidates in one at a time.
Right.
For the oral interview, and then collect the score sheets when y'all are done, and then tabulate the score sheets for each candidate.
If, for example, we're going to have a ton of candidates on a given night, HR in the past, rather than having people sit around all night waiting for their time, has staggered the arrivals for different positions. We've never had a problem with that. I hope we never get into a situation where we're kept waiting for a long time for whatever reason, or that the candidates are having to wait for a long time. But you have some flexibility there if you want to stagger their arrival times. Just kind of have to see how many we have for each position. And normally, I'm thinking, what do we keep them, 12, 15 minutes, depending on how
By the time
wordy
get
they
in
are.
here and get out, 10 to 15
15.
minutes.
Yeah, because it takes a little while just shuffling people back and forth. But after we get those formulated in January, I will bring those to you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
That's it.
You good for now? Okay.
Yes, sir.
That brings me to my third item of new business tonight, and the way I worded that probably makes it sound like it's a whole lot more than it is. I'm not proposing that we change the way we're submitting these questions at all. I'm going to be gone for, if we have a December meeting, I'll be in sunny Sanibel Island, Florida. I'll be thinking of y'all.
I'm sure you will.
And so I won't be here in December to remind everybody about that we're going to need to start submitting these questions to each other in the January meeting. So that probably will turn into, depending on what else we have on the agenda, likely by our standards, a fairly long meeting. If we have any other items that night, obviously we'll get those out of the way and then go into executive session. Y'all will have to choose a chairman for the December meeting if there is a need for a December meeting. Any additional comments on anything except Razorback football?
I'd like to,
How come Chief Williams cannot get that many people to apply for his position?
I think it's something about personality.
My position. Yeah. Everybody in Maumell's gonna apply for my position.
No, I'm talking about a policeman.
Yeah, that's
no, my
an
question,
ongoing problem.
my question was for Chief Williams, and I may have misunderstood it. 44 took the test, and
No, 18 or something.
and 9 passed.
Correct.
Okay. I thought it was 44 that took the test and
I
only
think
9
44 may have
passed.
signed up, 18
Application,
showed
yeah.
up.
Okay,
44
all right.
applications.
Because I was thinking, we're still having trouble
Right.
here. Okay.
No, 18 taking it and 9 passing it is better.
That's better.
Clearly better.
That's better. Thank you. Thank you.
18 and none passing.
Yeah.
Any additional comments? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say yes.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
opposed? No. Motion passes.
Almost set a record.
I will tell you this.
We're efficient.